there's a lot of she's fast for a girl comments or she's good for a girl, and that mentality needs to be taken away and really understand that there are so many talented female drivers coming through now.
Young girls coming up to you and being like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a cyclist like you. That's just the best feeling ever.
I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I feel like we all have a lot in common, right?
I think we all love speed.
Definitely.
I'm not sure I'm quite as proficient as you all are on achieving it on your own.
We've got 3 potential delivery riders and drivers for you here.
When you do need a career change, you know where I am.
It's funny seeing all of our worlds, although similar, very different.
We've all faced the same kind of challenges.
You know, we're all successful, powerful women that, are breaking the bias, trying to do something in many cases that hasn't ever been done before, and I think that's really cool to share this table with you all. So I think the big question actually is, are we on track for equality, or are we heading in the right direction in, I guess, our own individual sports, but also in general?
There's a lot more to do, but I think we're definitely on track, yeah. So we have a women's Tour de France now, and it's been a long time coming. I think the biggest step was for women's cycling to actually get it out on TV, and people watch it and people are like, this is actually great racing. We want more of this. Just the salaries for the riders. That's probably the only thing. It's just the top that actually makes a decent income, and everybody below is just living off parents, partners. It's not much.
Also in motorsport, this year started the Women World Championship, so it's a good step.
I feel like there's such a boom for women's sport at the moment, and also in the workplace. I'd love to hear, do you think there's more we can do without it being maybe forced, or are we in the right place?
There's been a huge amount of progress, and I think generally we're in good shape, but I think the pipeline's there and there's progress and people are acknowledging the agenda.
I know I was involved in W Series. We had more female mechanics, engineers. One of my mechanics, started with us in W Series, was a number 1 mechanic, worked for a number 1 mechanic, and now is working for Alpine in F1. So I think that's the bit we're missing. We've got more opportunities here, but we need really to help that kind of entry-level point to the sport.
I like your point as well about across the sport. It's not just the sporting stars as you are, but all the support team and the network behind you and seeing women in those roles, that makes a massive difference.
Growing up in the sport, maybe similarly to others, I didn't have many women in the sport to look up to. I looked up to a lot of male racing drivers, a lot of other female athletes, but not so many female racing drivers. But what I would say is the few that there were, I was very inspired by, and what I loved about the women in the sport, there was a nice community, and I had the ability to pick up the phone to, the women that were at the higher levels, speak to them and get advice, and just having that support network really helped me when I was younger.
Yeah, actually growing up, I looked at male athletes more than the female ones. The female athletes in my sport, they were not given a lot of TV time, and I think it's definitely shifting right now. There's a lot of really good female cyclists that are on socials. They're inspiring a lot of the younger generation, so that's pretty cool. Young girls coming up to you and being like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a cyclist like you.
Yeah.
That's just the best feeling ever.
Normally my thought is if he can do it, I can. Yeah. So I just work for battle him. Yeah, when I started, I was the only one, and now I can see, for example, in the federation we have 30 riders, mini riders.
But I think you undersold yourself a bit there, because you really are the only one at your level, and that's crazy in a sport that we all believe women are capable of having, equal footing on.
My goal is to keep fighting in this World Championship. I'm the only, but I want to bring with me more riders. So yeah, definitely.
Did you have strong female role models in your life? I was thinking about my own mother, who was working, had a career, and I think that set an expectation in my mind same for you in different ways?
100%. Motorsport isn't a sport that my family are from, yet they were so supportive when my brother and I both wanted to get into it. So I think that's definitely subconsciously made a massive difference, just having that feeling of, I'm a woman, but that makes no difference. I just want to do this for all the right reasons.
For me, it took a little bit longer to realize. So my family is very, very supportive. But what they taught me, and that was been really important throughout my whole career, is like, there is no such thing as this is only for guys. You can be a girl and you can like guys' things. It's like, you like cars, you like airplanes, you like football, so whatever.
I think one thing is difficult because we haven't seen many females have a lot of success yet. There's a lot of she's fast for a girl comments or she's good for a girl, and that mentality needs to be taken away and really understand that there are so many talented female drivers coming through now.
I think one of the biggest things in women's cycling that still needs a lot of work is body dysmorphia. So we have a lot of eating disorders in cycling because there's also just not that much research on women's sports. And a lot of women think that they have to be really skinny to perform, which is not the case. And it's a really big percentage of the girls that race. They don't have their periods because they just have an eating disorder.
But I don't know if it's like this in cycling, but I've done many fitness tests and things in our sport. And, I really struggled physically in the car. It was really tough to drive. And at the end, to someone else, the feedback was that I wasn't fit enough and my body fat was way too high. But
doesn't have anything to do with it.
In comparison to the boys. Literally, but also it's that women's body fat is higher than men's.
Has to be.
And it's crazy that, that was the feedback. And I was like, I'm going up against all the boys in a really physical car. And the feedback is that my body fat's too high. It's a very physical sport. And the cars are inherently designed for men. So the steering wheels are thick. The steering's heavy. Outside of Formula One, you don't have power steering. And I think this is something we can improve.
Specific training.
Definitely. But the training, because it's maybe not been done before, there's so little research on things. And understanding it really, I think, from a female athlete point of view is still overlooked a little bit. So that's something that I think we can do better. I do also believe that behind great women are great men. And I think within that, the DHL organisation is so great at supporting women. And I feel like that's also why we're all here together today and can kind of share our experiences.
It's been really great listening to you all this morning because obviously I'm not in your sporting world, but I feel a bit like a proud mum. But being able to listen to women who are really breaking barriers. You are role models for little girls, which will see that change going forward, and that's so cool.
Thank you, everyone. I've found myself this super inspiring, and slowly but surely I feel like we are en route to equality. So,
slowly.
Slowly.
We have to speed up.
We're going to have to speed it up, but we're getting there, and it's great to hear all of your stories and everything that you guys are all doing to push equality.